Today we will study the chapter Indigo by Louis Fisher, Class 12th, Flamingo. This chapter has been written by Louis Fisher and it is an excerpt from Louis Fisher's book The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Indigo is a narrative about the reasons that led Gandhiji to take upon himself the task of ousting the British from our motherland. Let's start. When I first visited Gandhiji in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1970. Louis Fisher starts the chapter by telling us that he visited Gandhiji in 1942 at his ashram, Gandhiji's ashram in Sevagram in central India. Gandhiji's ashram in Sevagram was established in 1936 and Sevagram is in Maharashtra in Wardha. He said, I will tell you, Gandhiji told Louis that he would tell him how it happened that he decided to initiate the departure of the British, and it happened in 1917. He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. Gandhiji told him that he had gone to the December 1916 annual meeting. Convention is the meeting of an organization or political party. So it was the meeting of Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow and the year was 1916. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. In that convention, 2,301 representatives and many other visitors were present. During the proceedings, during the interview, Gandhi recalled, a peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated. Gandhiji recalled the incident that when he was in the meeting, when he was in the convention, one peasant, one farmer, small farmer, came up to him and his appearance was just like any other peasant of India, that he was poor and emaciated means thin, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. This peasant was Rajkumar Shukla. I am from Champaran and this person came from Champaran. Champaran is the place in Bihar and I want you to come to my district. He requested Gandhiji to come to his district. Gandhi had never heard of this place. Gandhi had never heard about Champaran before it. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. So when he found that this place was under the tall Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal in Bihar. Under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. Under an ancient means old, arrangement, agreement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Who are sharecroppers? Sharecroppers are the tenants farmer who give a part of each crop as rent. These people take the land on rent from the landlords and they pay to landlord for growing the crops on their land. So Rajkumar Shukla was one of the tenant, one of the sharecroppers. He was illiterate. Rajkumar Shukla was illiterate but resolute. Resolute means determined. Though the person was illiterate, he was uneducated, but he was a determined person. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. His motive was to come to the convention, was to complain. It means he was dissatisfied with the system because landlord system was doing injustice to the sharecroppers. And somebody had probably said, maybe somebody guided him that about this he should speak to Gandhi. So he approached Gandhiji. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur. Here, this is the word Kanpur. It was written as this spelling was written at the time of Britishers. Now, presently, we write it Kanpur, Kanpur, and was also committed to go to other parts of India. When Rajkumar Shukla requested Gandhiji to accompany him his district, Gandhiji told him that he had some other commitments also and he has to go to Kanpur, and after that he has to go some other places also. Shukla accompanied him and everywhere. Shukla followed Gandhiji everywhere where Gandhiji visited. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. For many weeks, he was with Gandhiji. Fix a date, he begged. After that, he requested Gandhiji to give him a date, to fix a date so that he can wait. Impressed by the sharecropper's density and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such a date. Come and meet me and take me from there. Impressed by the sharecropper's density is the dedication. Density means dedication and the story which he told Gandhiji. Gandhi was very much impressed and he asked him on such and such date he will be in Calcutta. From there he will accompany the sharecropper. Months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. Just see, it was the matter of many months, and he remembered the date which Gandhiji told him. When Gandhiji reached Calcutta, Shukla was sitting on his haunches. Haunches means sitting on his legs, thighs. He waited till Gandhiji was free. Gandhiji was busy, so he waited for Gandhiji. Then the two of them means Gandhiji and Shukla, boarded a train, got on a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. From Calcutta, they took the train. Both of them got on a train and they started for Patna in Bihar. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress party and of India. All of us know that Rajendra Prasad was the first president of independent India. From there, Shukla led him to the house of the lawyer. Rajendra Prasad was one of the renowned lawyers of our country. From there, both of them went to his house. Rajendra Prasad was out of town, he was not in the city, and the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman who pestered their master to help the INDIGO sharecroppers. Rajendra Prasad was not in the city, but his servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman. Yeoman is a man who cultivates a small piece of land. So it means Shukla used to go there, and the servants were familiar with him, and they know that this person pestered means bothered, means harass, means worried their owner, their master, for the help of indigo sharecroppers. Indigo was the crop which sharecroppers were growing on the land. So they let him stay. They did not bother about him. They did not bother of him. He was staying on the grounds with his companion Gandhiji. Both of them were sitting on the ground, whom they took. They here means the servants of Rajendra Prasad. They took him also they took Gandhiji, one of the companion of Shukla. So, but Gandhiji was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? At that time, the system was such that no person from other caste could fetch the water from the well. When Gandhiji tried to take the water from their well, they stopped him because they thought that the water drops from Gandhiji's bucket may pollute their entire well. They didn't know that Gandhiji was not an untouchable. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran. En route means on the way. Gandhiji decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was on the way to Champaran, to obtain some complete information about conditions then Shukla was capable of imparting. Gandhiji wanted to collect the first-hand information. He wanted to collect more data about the system which landlord had adopted there and which Shukla was providing him. Whatever information Shukla imparting means providing. Though Shukla provided him all the information about the condition of sharecroppers, even then Gandhiji wanted to collect more information and data, so he decided to go to Muzaffarpur. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore's Shanti Niketan school. He sent a telegram. Telegram was a mean of communication at that time. He sent one telegram to whom? To Professor J.B. Kriplani, and he was the professor in the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, and this professor meet Gandhiji at Ravindranath Tagore's Shanti Niketan school. The train arrived at midnight. It was the time of midnight when the train arrived at Muzaffarpur. The date was April 15, 1917. Kriplani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. We know he was a professor, so Kriplani had arrived at the station to receive Gandhiji with a large number of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani. From there, Gandhi went to the home of Professor Malkani and he stayed there. He remained there for 2 days. A teacher who was Professor Malkani, a teacher in a government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days, Gandhi commented. Gandhi told Louis that it was an extraordinary thing. It was not an usual thing. Why it was an extraordinary thing? For a government professor to harbor a man like me. To harbor here means to give shelter. Professor Malkani was a teacher in a government school. So the people working for the government, the Britishers, they were afraid of the officers. That's why they afraid to give shelter to such a person like Gandhiji. In smaller localities means the small towns, small cities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. So people were afraid to show any kind of sympathy, to show any kind of support for the advocates means those who favor, those who support the rule, home rule means those who were fighting, those who were struggling for freedom. The news of Gandhiji's advent and of his nature of his mission spread quickly because we know this was the small town. So in that locality, Gandhiji's advent means arrival, the news of Gandhiji's arrival and of the nature of his mission. Nature of his mission means why he had come there. Spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. He was still in Muzaffarpur, but the news spread up to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot and by convents to see their champion. So they knew that someone is there to favor them. So they started collecting in Muzaffarpur. They started coming on foot as well as by transport. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasants' groups in court. When Muzaffarpur's lawyers came to know about Gandhiji, they also approached him and they told him in brief because they were representing peasants' groups in the court. They were fighting for them in the court. They were representing the peasants in the court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fees. Lawyers were taking fees from the sharecroppers, so they told everything about the case and the fees to Gandhiji. Gandhi chided the lawyers for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. When Gandhi came to know about the fee the lawyers were charging from the sharecroppers, he chided means scolded the lawyers. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken, law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. Gandhi came to the conclusion that they should not go to the law courts for the justice because it was a long process and the sharecroppers were very poor. They could not afford the fee of lawyers. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. Here, does little good means no good, no welfare, no help. So, such cases in the court does not help the poor people, does not help anyone at all. Where the peasants are so crushed, they are so exploited and fear stricken, they are very much afraid. So, law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. The first step that should be taken, according to the Gandhiji, was make them free from the fear of Britishers, make them free from the fear of landlords, make them free from the fear of injustice.